Welcome back. This is Quest for You, and I'm Janine, and I'm so happy you're here. It's summer. I'm so excited. I'm always excited about summer. Summer is my season, and I enjoy it like nothing else. And as I was working on yesterday's episodes, on the things that fall into place, I read an article online that got me thinking. It's on the topic of dating. And for a long time, I've been thinking about recording an episode on this very complicated subject. But not today. Not yet. I haven't yet clearly found what I want to express about dating, other than what I'm sharing today. And I'm sharing a little bit. The reason I'm touching on the subject today is that the article I read ties in really well with my episode from yesterday. And as such, I want to connect a few of my thoughts on dating to the topic of things falling into place. The blog post is written by a man called Jonathan Green, and it's titled Resisting the Urge to Date Again. The title says it all. He writes about the challenges of dating and why he is not ready to date. But more interestingly, it's almost as if he is having a conversation with himself, trying to admit that part of himself really wants to date. That part that feels lonely and that looks longingly at pictures of people holding hands. And that the other part is not yet ready. He's convincing himself and partially his audience that dating, especially online dating, doesn't work for him for various reasons. And that dating in general is just not something he enjoys. This dialogue that he's having with himself sparked my thinking. It was different than most blog posts I read. People that usually give advice and that have answers to our problems. It was almost a cry for help. Please, reader, change my viewpoint, or please tell me which side I should listen to. While he never asked the question, the reader is compelled to reflect and take a side. And so I felt induced to write a comment. What you may not know about me is that I never comment. I barely click like, but I hardly ever say anything, unless there is a comment from someone I know and it's directed to me. I just don't comment on articles or blog posts. It's just not something I do. I have too high of an expectation of my own response that it takes too much of my energy and time to craft it. Time and energy that I just don't have. And that I don't think will get me anywhere personally. So I usually swallow my words and forget about my thoughts most of the time. My browsing, social media activity is limited to scrolling, and sometimes I post something, but not regularly. But this article sparked something in me. The topic of dating is obviously of interest to me, and as I came to find out, I am faced with the very same dilemma. So last night I wrote a response to Jonathan that was meant to bring a different perspective to him, to me, and all the other readers, and maybe to help him feel better about whichever decision he will make. But I also, just like him, wrote a little bit to myself, because the topic of dating is always somewhere in the back of my mind. And because I struggle with it, don't know how to exactly feel about it, and don't know if it's right for me. There are these days I feel I should delete all my profiles that are floating around on these apps, and just forget about dating altogether. And on other days I spend an hour mincing the words and uploading new pictures, claiming my lack of commitment as the reason why I can't even get a date. In the end, I find myself in the exact same spot as the author of the article. Unsure what to do. Inclined to delete everything and forget about dating after weeks of failed attempts. And then again motivated to give it my best after feeling lonely for too long and hearing how others found their dream partner online. It's a constant back and forth. Confused, frustrated, but often simply indifferent. But lately, I'm beginning to feel an answer to this dilemma grow inside of me. Something is taking shape. I shared with you yesterday how many things in my life have fallen into place because I made the right decisions some time ago. And I'm beginning to believe that the same happens with the relationships in our life. I obviously cannot speak about it with experience, but I'm speaking about it with a slight sense of conviction and a lot of faith. That, and here's the cheesy phrase from yesterday again, that when we do what we love, things will fall into place. If I look at the relationships in my past, they were often a wrong decision. For many reasons, too many to get into on this episode. But now that I'm finally on this quest to learn who I really am, what I like and what I want out of this life, it is also becoming clearer to me who the person is that I want to share it all with. It's a process. I can say I'm not yet there, because every day I still discover so much about me. This is also a reason I don't believe in lists, similar to Jonathan, who also hates them. My list of criteria for my mate changes as I change. But I believe that the clearer I become to discovering the Janine I want to be, the closer I will get to finding the right person in my life. And the reason I believe this is that it's already beginning to show. Making friends has been hard for me all my life. And suddenly, within the last year, I made more friends than I have all my life. I attribute this to the fact that I'm becoming more true to myself. I do what I love. And when you do what you love and what fulfills you, you meet people along the way. I have met wonderful people through my meetup, which I started because of my podcast. And I have met amazing people through climbing. I'm sharing time with people that are on a similar quest. And therefore, look for the people that match my quest. My feeling is, and it's just a feeling at this point, that this is the way my partner, your partner, Jonathan's partner, will eventually find his or her way into our life. And not just any partner. Not another failed date, or a person that won't commit 100%, or that just hurts us. But a great partner, whom we will enjoy our time with and grow as a person. And that is why I wrote my response. Because it's less about dating to me, and it's more about being who I am. So here's what I wrote. I tried to keep it short, but it sums up my current thoughts about dating. And who knows, maybe it will all change next month, although I don't think so. I think great things will happen in all areas of our life, including our love life, when we follow our heart. So here we go. My response. Jonathan, I have 2 thoughts. 1. What if we approach dating with fewer expectations and with the simple pleasure of meeting another human being? Sure, our criteria list still holds. It's a selection tool. But like you said, one can never know for sure. So why not let go of the concept of a date and just show up? Coffee, a walk, some art. Being open, being yourself, being kind with whomever we meet. I have met a photographer this way who has become a dear friend. He's now in rehab, and I'm one of the few friends he has left that he can call on from time to time for support and guidance. 2. Online dating has become a hobby in itself. You described it well. It's another distraction at night when we should be finishing that blog post, you, or podcast episode, me. We surf profiles instead. It has become an activity disconnected from everything else in our life. A single-minded focus without purpose or passion. I have found that amazing people cross my path when I do what I love, when I follow my heart, when I'm absorbed in an activity that brings me and others joy, with dating not even on my mind. I believe that the people we will want to date are those that do with passion, something that inspires us in our own endeavors. And as such, it won't even feel like a date, because we both connect over a common purpose and getting to know each other along the way while doing something we love. At least, that is what I hope happens. So thank you, my dear listeners. I want to end here. I think the topic of dating will come up again in future episodes. There's so much to be explored. For today, maybe I've triggered your thinking a little. Maybe changed your viewpoint. Maybe inspired you to rewrite that dating profile or to delete it completely. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's only about what is right for you. Much love.